Welcome back. So in this video, we are going to be working on Git Revert and Git Reset. So now that we've covered checkout, there's still one more thing we need to do. And we obviously, we can move between up and down commits, but now we want to know how to actually go back and set that time permanently. So you want to go back in time to your commit or your revert or wherever you want. So you want to actually go back in time, stay there permanently instead of just going back in time and staying there temporarily. So we're going to learn how to do that in this video. So let's just say in this scenario that I've decided that my new website isn't worth it and I want to go back to my initial commit. Now, there are a few ways you can do this. We're going to be talking about two different ways, Git Revert and Git Reset. So the first one, Git Revert, is a little bit safer than Git Reset because what it actually does is it goes back in time to only one commit and one commit only. It looks at this commit and reverts the changes and then creates a new commit saying that it reverted the changes. So this only does it for one commit though. That's the problem. So if you want to go back in time more than one commit, it's going to create multiple reverts and it just gets really complicated over time. So let's just say that we wanted to get rid of this new website functionality just to demonstrate. It's quite simple actually. All you have to do is type git revert and then you're going to revert the changes that you made. So what's going to happen is you're going to paste in this ID right here, and it's going to revert the changes made to add new website functionality. So it's going to remove this new website functionality that we made. So I'm just going to open up my text editor here, and I'm going to show you. So all of this was made after this commit. So I'm going to just type git revert and then the name of that ID, enter. And now it's going to bring up this editor where you're going to have to enter it's a message sort of. So it's the same as the commit message editor. So what you're going to do is basically just type out a message, and one is already typed out for you, but you can erase this if you want. Now I'm just going to keep it the same. So there we go. Now you just look at this right here and you can exit, you can get out, everything like that. So I'm just going to press Control X and there you go, it exit. And there you go, it says revert added new website functionality. Now if we go to the git log, you can see that added new website functionality is there, but we have revert add new website functionality. So if we go and we check here right now, that new functionality is gone. So that's a really useful feature because we can still go ahead and copy this ID. And let's just say, we made a mistake or, we want to do something like that. Let's just copy that, and if I want to check it out so I can get that code back, or if I want to revert back there, I have that code again. So that's why revert is really useful. It's much safer than reset, which we'll talk about in a second. But let's just say that I want this website functionality back. Let's just say I made a mistake, or maybe someone breached my repository, very unlikely, but someone, messed around with everything. And let's say I want it back. So I want to revert this revert. So what I'm going to do, I know it's a little bit complicated, is I'm going to first go back to the master. There we go. And now everything is back to where it should be. And I'm going to go ahead and copy the ID of this revert because remember, this is a commit just like any other, except Git goes and automatically basically runs the inverse of what you did in that commit in the staging area. So I'm going to type git revert and then I'm going to paste in the ID of the revert. So it brings up that little GUI again. We're going to leave the message the same and we're going to Control or Command X to exit. There we go. So let's go ahead and look what's happening. So we're going to log it again and see. So now it says revert add new website functionality, but here it says revert add website functionality. So it kind of cancels out. If we go back here, you can see we have our code back. You don't need to know what this code means, by the way. It's just a little bit of a way to show what's going on. So there you go. You can see that revert basically takes a commit and reverses it. But what if this is getting a little bit messy now? So what if I wanted to, let's just say, go back all the way back to where I created the new website? So, forget all the website functionality, and I don't want to revert all of these changes individually. I want to go all the way back to when I added the website. Well, this is where Git Reset comes in. So Git Reset pretty much just goes all the way back in time and stays there. It doesn't create new commits, and it's much more dangerous because once you do it, there's no going back. You can't go back in time and change it or anything. So this is why I recommend that you be cautious with your commits and what you do. Be careful. Don't just go and commit random things. You want to be really careful, and you want to be with what you commit. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about Git Reset. So what does Git Reset do? Git Reset works in 3 different stages. It works in soft, mixed, and hard. Soft only goes back in time in the commit tree, so it moves the head back. It's kind of like a checkout in a way. Then there's mixed, which is kind of a mix between that and moving back in time in the working directory. And then you have the hard reset, which is going back in time in the working directory and staying there. So it removes files, it does all of that. And that's kind of what we want, is our hard reset. So I'm just going to go ahead and restart my terminal here for a second. So basically my goal here is to go back when we first created the website, right? So I'm going to open up my terminal path, copy that CD back into my path, sorry. And now we're going to go and reset it. So the first thing you want to do is get the commit that you want to reset to. So you can see that there's a little bit of a cutoff here. You can see right here that it kind of cuts off because it can only list so many commits at once. So one way to get around this is using something called git log and then using something called a one-line flag. So I'll show you what that means in just a second. Working around with the terminal here is a little bit difficult, but if I want to view all of the commits on a sort of shorter timeline, what you do is git log -- one line. And what that's going to do is show you that in a much shorter way. So I'm going to copy back to added new website right here. Now I'm going to do git reset -- hard for a hard reset, and then I'm going to paste the commit ID. There we go. Now it says head is now at A38350A added new website. So now you can see that my new website and everything is still there. But what happened is that now all of the other commits, sorry, I forgot to put git in front of it. Now you can see that added new website is the master. It is the top level and it is the working directory. So you can see what git reset -- hard does. Usually if you're using a soft reset, you shouldn't really do that. You should just use checkout because it's pretty much the same thing. But there you go. That's just some information about resetting or hard resetting. So what you have to take away from this is if you're trying to only use reverse one commit, maybe you made a mistake or added something wrong, git revert. But if you're trying to go back in time multiple commits, you will have to use git reset with a hard flag. So there you go. That's how to work with git revert and reset. I hope you took something away from this video. I don't recommend you use reset and revert that often. Just make sure you know what you're doing and be careful with what you commit and what you change. And if you do that, you shouldn't really find the need to reset unless you really mess something up. So there you go. All right, let's move on.